Hey guys, Kevin here to bring you a new video today. Today I'm going to do today's version of Horror October. It's currently 1:30 a.m. on technically October 12th. So this video is coming a little late, but I'm just going to head and do it now because this is the chance I had to do it. So yeah, but yeah, I just have to be kind of quiet because of my parents sleeping. But yeah, for today's film, yesterday film I watched was called The Wolfman. I watched this film partly because I was a little bit like strapped for time, and I'm also a little bit strapped for time right now, so I might do something a little shorter for today, as far as what I watch. Um, and it's technically called Horror October, so I mean as long as it's like horror themed, I feel like it's okay. But either way, yeah. So the film that I watched yesterday was called The Wolfman. Um, now this is the original Wolfman film from 1941, the classic one. And this comes on a collection that I have. These are like a series of films. You can see The Wolfman, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, Werewolf of London, She-Wolf of London. Yeah, there's like a whole like variety of them. So yeah, Lon Chaney Jr. Starred as the Wolfman in this. He was pretty good. He played a pretty good character for essentially a guy who's becoming a wolfman, and he's in like denial of it, even though like this gypsy told him this was the truth about you and this is what you're becoming because he was bitten by a wolf. Um, so what happened was that he bought this cane, which is interesting, that had a wolf on it. Interesting enough, and it was a silver wolf. And interesting enough, silver was the only thing that could kill a wolf, so it had to be a silver bullet or a silver cane. And he ends up killing a wolf with his cane, and it turns out the wolf was actually a human who had turned into a wolf. But nobody wanted to believe that because that's just crazy. Why would a human turn into a wolf? What? But yeah, and then so because of that, they believe he killed a human, which is like crazy. But yeah, and then basically because of him being bitten as well, he ended up becoming this werewolf creature, which they go into a lot of detail about like the lore of it and like the legends about it and all the different like how it works and whatnot, like how someone turns into a werewolf, and how like if you're crazy enough to believe you can be a werewolf, you can convince yourself that you are, or something like that. And then like there's this whole like metaphor about like, you know, we all have like two sides to us. So like the werewolf side would be like the evil side of us. So like if you can convince yourself of that, then you could just be like delusional, is what they're implying. They're saying like, oh, maybe you're just like delusional because you think that's like the evil side of you, or something like that. Like they basically thought he was going crazy because he was trying to tell them that he was turning into this werewolf essentially, which he knew about, and they didn't want to believe him. And he told his own dad about it, and he didn't want to believe him. He denied it, and he thought, he talked to a gypsy who, he thought seemed crazy because, why would you believe what a gypsy says? They're crazy. But the gypsy was actually telling the truth that, he was a werewolf, but he didn't want to believe that, and he ends up killing the werewolf, and then finding out that the werewolf was actually his son the whole time. So then he finds out. That's when he finds out, of course. So a little late there to find out that, unfortunately. But yeah, and he meets. There's like an interesting like back and forth with like this girl that this guy meets as well. He tries to like get with her, but she says no, and he doesn't seem to take no for an answer, which I find that kind of cringy, like what relationship culture was like back then, because if you just like wooed a girl back then, like she would just like take you, and then you would just easily get married, and it's like, oh god, whatever, like, okay. But yeah, like she was engaged, and he was like, oh, I'll still see you, right? Can I still see you? Can I still hang out with you? Like, no. And then like he still wanted to like be with her, like, oh my god, just crazy that it was like that back then. Or like, you know, people would just commit to things like that, like so easily, and just like be in relationships. Just relationships didn't really seem all that binding back then, I guess. So it's just different to see that. And like this guy was like spying on her, and like seeing her do things, and like was hitting on her, and she didn't like it. But the guy was like, yeah, I can impress you, right? Like I'm cool. Like, no, buddy, you're not. But yeah, like, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, he was a good actor though, in this movie, as far as like confronting, the fact that he's becoming this wolf man. And for its time, it's definitely got some good horror elements in it, with the score, and just like him actually killing people as the wolf man is actually like decently scary, for its time, I'd say. And delivers on good horror elements, I would say, um, for its time. Like he murders some people, and like that's considered pretty gruesome for its time. But yeah, like he just like attacks them and kills them. So yeah, yeah. Basically, this creature of his just like comes out just to kill people, and that's it. That's what he does. So yeah, pretty much it. But yeah, this is like part of a series of like Universal films, for horror that were put out. I have a whole series right here, actually. This is the entire series, right here. It's pretty cool. It's got all different classic monsters on it. It's called Classic Monsters Complete Film Collection. It's a Universal film collection that, Universal was kind enough to put together. It's got all these good films here. Sorry if you can't see that. You can see, I can't really angle that for you to see it, but it's got Dracula, Phantom of the Opera, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Mummy, Frankenstein, and the Invisible Man, and then we have the Wolf Man, which I'd taken out. So yeah, but yeah, I've seen the Invisible Man and Creature from the Black Lagoon, but I still have to see the others. So there's a good chance you'll probably see me seeing the others from that as well, to be reviewed. But yeah, overall it was pretty enjoyable, actually. I give it an 8.2, just because I felt like the suspense could have been played up a little bit better, but overall I thought it was still really enjoyable. I don't want to be too hard on it just because it's an older movie. But yeah, it was solid. Yeah, that's really all I got to say. I'm pretty tired. Yeah. So yeah, that's all. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video. I'll see you guys in the next one.